Today we're talking about growth within the telecoms market and the role of technology innovation. I'm delighted to be joined by Tim Ensor, who is Commercial Director at Cambridge Consultants. Tim, thanks for joining us.
Very nice to be here, Justin. Thanks for having me.
So Tim, with that in mind, how would you categorise the status of the telecoms industry right now and, of course, its potential for growth?
Yeah, right. So, the telecoms industry I see is at a real transition point right now. Carriers are under a huge amount of pressure with their capex for rollout of fibre and 5G. OpEx is under pressure in the face of flat revenues, and we all know that developing new revenue streams through enterprise users for private networks and services is proving challenging. From a technology perspective, there's several things going on right now. Firstly, right now we're squarely mid-G. So 5G is in deployment, 5G Advanced has been published, 6G is coming into view. We're continuing to see the move to virtualize and disaggregate networks, moving more functions to the cloud and developing open standards. And finally, we're seeing an amazing convergence of terrestrial and non-terrestrial networks, with mobile devices increasingly able to communicate via satellite and an enormous amount of energy going into other high-altitude platforms. So why this is important is I think this means that there will be an amazing opening up of several areas of the market with new entrants from hyperscalers, new semiconductor players, satellite and high-altitude platform startups. So a really exciting time. And back to the question about growth, I think this year we will definitely see the tentative return to growth with improving macroeconomic conditions. But I think what's more important is the technology investment decisions players make now will determine the growth trajectory they're on in the coming years. And really it's the businesses which choose to innovate which will set themselves on that growth path.
Well, that's all very encouraging to hear, Tim. What are the tangible areas of technology innovation that really hold the key for growth? Can you give us any examples?
I can. But first, let me say one more thing about driving growth through innovation. And that is that long-term sustainable growth comes from defendable innovation that you own, rather than buying in and using someone else's innovation. Now, often we find that this defendable innovation really has its roots in deep technology because it's so much harder to copy. So within this area of deep tech, I think there are two areas of focus, two broad themes. Firstly is about reducing your cost to serve. So under that umbrella, we're thinking about areas of artificial intelligence for network automation. We're thinking about increasing the virtualization of network functions, particularly across the edge and the cloud. And we're also thinking about new semiconductor architectures which lower the power consumption of the network and of course the cost. And the great thing about those is it frees up capital to be able to invest in other areas. And so the other area of deep tech innovation that we're interested in is about reaching more customers. And here that includes topics like non-terrestrial networks, where we're able to reach customers across geographic boundaries. It includes pushing into higher spectrum levels where you can get higher capacities in the network in dense areas. And it also includes really focusing on the enterprise market needs for manufacturing, finance, retail, healthcare and others. And here we're not just talking about private networks, we're talking about moving into extended reality. We're talking about quantum comms. We're thinking about enterprise applications, not just platforms.
So what personally excites you about the potential for innovation, Tim?
Yeah, it was, firstly I'll say it was really exciting for me to see John Hoffman, the GSMA CEO, recently talking about how operators were going to evolve into future-facing tech communication companies. And this is exactly the kind of area that the Cambridge Consultants team can help. You know, we help technology leaders in telco open up and launch into new markets by extending the reach of connectivity through deep technology innovation. Areas like digital beamforming or millimeter wave or developing AI native networks. So we're engaged in all of these technology domains, but the area which really excites me the most is that one of non-terrestrial networks. Because I really think this has the potential to transform the philosophy and the economics of service delivery. You know, we're not just talking about sparse coverage for rural areas. We're talking about full capacity 5G service from the stratosphere or in orbit. It is really going to have a transformational effect on the telecoms industry in the near future, I think. So I would say that the telecoms industry has both the opportunity and the need to innovate in the coming years. It is by innovating that we will continue to connect people and communities in a sustainable way. And by so doing, we'll deliver the societal and the economic benefits that come from that connectivity. So it's exciting times.
It is exciting times, both today and in the future, by the sounds of it. Tim, thank you very much for talking tech innovation with us on Mobile World Live.
Thank you.